Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week we come to you and talk to you about all things Lorcana. I'm Matt,
I'm Malcolm.
I'm Emmett.
And I'm Jen.
and this week we've got some news to go over about some changes to cards. We're going to talk a little bit about the set championships. We're going to talk about new cards that have been released over the week. But first, let's start off with how we do every week with how we've been playing. So, how'd we play this week, guys?
So we played in actually twice. We played in two different leagues because our store closest to us has just started a league. And so we actually played in that. But I guess I'll start with Sunday.
Yep.
So on Sunday, I played three people. Two of those people were these children that are sitting next to me. Both of these children that are sitting next to me beat me 2-1. It was not a fun day for me. But the adult that I played, I beat 2-0.
Hey,
so that was nice.
That's good that your specialty is beating up full-size people, not small children. That's probably a good thing.
My own children.
Yeah.
But luckily, actually not luckily, because so then when we played again yesterday, I actually played really well yesterday, I felt. So actually the two stores we play at play in the two different formats, which is kind of nice. We get a little bit of practice of both.
Yep.
So our normal Sunday leagues play do the 3-game format, correct? But then our Wednesday league plays in the 1-1 format with points. So yesterday I won my first game. We did 1-1. Or 2 days ago. 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I won my first match 2-0 against a mirror deck.
Oh.
That wasn't like we were both doing Steel Song, but she was definitely doing a much different iteration than what I was doing. More of a like something that actually I was running a while ago, like months ago. She's running the Queens, running the Flutes, running the 1 and 2 drop Cindy's.
The
2 drop Cindy too, really?
Yeah.
It's the swordsman.
Which
sure, I know which one it is.
Yeah. And yeah, I ended up taking it down.
Cool.
So 2-0, which was awesome. And then I got paired up with this one, Emmett. And we went 1-1 because he's good and he has a good deck. And then I don't remember who I played. Oh, I played another Ruby Amethyst, and
didn't you play
that
one?
Huh?
I
went 1-1 with them, which I was pretty happy with. And then I played Dan.
Yep.
And I went 1-1 against him, and I was the only person that beat him at all because he had been undefeated until he saw me. So that made me feel pretty good that I was able to at least take one game from him. So, but these two boys actually did really good too, right, Emmett? How did you do? So first, how'd you do on Wednesday?
So on Wednesday, I did pretty good. I'm pretty sure I didn't get. I 2-0'd on my second person.
No, that was your first person, because that was your second person.
No, it was my second person. It was my second or third person.
Okay. I think you lost 0-2 on your first person.
Yeah, I think I lost 0-2 on my first.
Or no. I think you were. Yeah. No, you must have won 2-0, because you won 2-0 on your first person because you played me. And then we went 1-1.
Okay. And then my third person, I went 2-0. And then I played a Ruby Amethyst.
And you were 0-2?
Yeah. So somebody told me that one time they played me, and then they added Gladius Swords to the deck because of my deck.
Yeah, that can happen. Yep. People will they adjust to your what they call like the local meta. Like what do people play at your stores? What are people going to be playing in the tournaments? And people will adjust the decks to deal with that. So, Malcolm, how did you do?
Wait, I didn't say what I did on Sunday.
So how'd you do on Sunday? Other than beating me 2-1.
So on Sunday I beat Mom 2-1. That's all I remember.
That's all right. That's all right. I think you did pretty well. I think you also beat another
I
person.
think you went 2-0.
I think you were 2-1 on the day.
2-1 on the day, yeah.
So that's pretty good. Malcolm, how'd you do?
On Sunday I win 2-1 once, 2-0 once, and 1-2 once. And then the next day on Wednesday I win 2-0 once, 1-1 twice, and 0-2.
Right. So yeah, those are just numbers. How do you guys feel like your deck's playing? Do you feel like you're confident in your deck? Do you feel like those are like you're doing better with it? Do you want to make any changes with it?
I kind of want to change my new deck.
Okay, so not the greatest time to do that, since we'll have our set championships tomorrow.
No, like after the set championships.
Okay, that's fine.
If I don't make it into the top 8 tomorrow
with this deck,
I might want to swap it.
Okay, well, we can talk about that, but do you have any changes you want to make before the set championship? Something that wasn't, you have cards in your deck that weren't working, cards that you kind of wish you had more of, if you don't have 4 of them in there.
Do I have 4 lays?
I'm not sure, buddy, but we can take a look.
Do I have 4 bills?
Yes.
I know at the beginning.
Right. So yeah, so let's. If there are any changes you need to make, we have to make them tonight because with set championships, right, you have to have deck lists. Or for our stores, you have to have deck lists. It's not actually a requirement from Disney, but you do have to have deck lists for the stores that we're going to. So make sure you have those. The easiest thing to do is to just make your deck on Dreamborn. You can export it right to a registration sheet, print that off, turn it in, and you're all good. You don't want to show up and then have to write out the names of all of your cards. So for me, I did pretty well on Sunday. I went 2-1. My loss was against like a Jafar wheel deck, so I just she got it twice in a row where it was like she was able to shift the Jafar, sing Whole New World, play it again, so 14 lore on one turn, and then did it again the next game. And it was like, okay, well, that's over. On like turn 5, so cool. And then yeah, on Wednesday I win like 2-0, 2-0, 2-0.
Do you think Diablo would work with that Jafar?
No, because so Jafar you only gain lore on your turn when you draw cards. So you're not going to be able to get game lore from drawing cards with Diablo. Diablo only works on the opponent's turn.
Oh.
So that won't really. That's not a. They don't combo together well. I mean, sure you can play them in the same deck. Purple and green can synergize pretty well.
I've never seen that.
Well, Ariel plays that every single week. She's been playing that for like 6 months. She doesn't play Jafar, but she does play purple and green. Randy played that for all of set 2. Like purple and green was a very, very popular.
What would people use it for?
So it's called a tempo deck. Yeah, so tempo deck. Right, we've discussed things about like control, and we've discussed aggro and mid-range, and kind of a version of like a mid-range deck is called a tempo deck. Basically, you're trying to disrupt the opponent's tempo of playing cards, right? You're playing something on 1, you're playing something on 2, you're playing something on 3, right? If you can disrupt that tempo so that like you send their cards that they played on 2 back to their hand, suddenly they don't have that card on the board that they were counting on to at least absorb a threat, absorb a banishing spell, something like that. Like that's no longer there. You're disrupting their tempo. You're making them kind of discard some cards. So the Emerald Amethyst is considered a tempo deck. It's called like EA tempo. Just win the game.
Okay.
After the like EA Sports logo from the 90s that you guys don't know about, but I do. So it was a good week. I know there was a couple of games I was really happy with how I played. Like I played against Ruby Amber one on Sunday that like I just took control of that whole game the entire time, and it was against one of the better players in the store, and I beat them 2-0. And then on Wednesday there was one mirror match that both of my starting hands were like garbage, and I was able to come back from like 10-0 deficits, just retake control of the game, outdraw the player, and take the victory. So they were good matches.
Why do you have?
Go ahead, Emma.
Why did you have 4 Be Prepared and then 3 Madame Medusas?
I did have 4 Be Prepared in my hand.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god.
Which was kind of a little trap for them. Like when you're playing a Ruby Amethyst deck, if you're the one playing a Ruby Amethyst deck, like a thing to do would be prepared and then play Queen's Castle. If you're playing against Ruby Amethyst deck and it's a mirror match, like if the other person casts Be Prepared, the next thing you want to do is play Queen's Castle because and odds are you can play 2 of them because there's a good chance you'll have 8 ink. Right, so you play 2 of them and then they can't deal with it, both of them, and you're most likely going to get 4 lore the next turn without having to have a character on there. He just couldn't get that out there when I was just kept casting Be Prepared, I think 2 or 3 times in a row, and just like whittled away all of his cards, so that he had no more cards left, and I still had like characters that I could go and play. So yeah, sometimes that happens with that deck. You get all of your Be Prepared, so I got to make sure to really shuffle them because they're probably all together.
Oh, yeah,
could be
because
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I made some pretty good plays too, and I also, just got lucky. Sometimes you get lucky. Like I know, 2 weeks ago when I did really, really bad against a deck that I usually do really good against, and it was just because I couldn't get any songs. This time I felt like I was doing really, really well with playing, um, where I was when I beat the other um, Ruby Amethyst. I think I did it to you as well, where um, right after playing a whole new world, got lucky to get a Bare Necessities in my hand, so that way I could use it right away to see if the opponent got either a Queen's Castle or a Be Prepared. And both, like I did it twice in a row, where both times got a Bare Necessities, was able to get rid of the Be Prepared out of my opponent's hand both times in a row in the same game.
I mean,
I know
she did do that to me once.
I know there was one time where you did it to me, but then you saw I had like 2 Be Prepared, the King Undisputed,
and a castle.
and a castle in there, and you were just like, oh, this isn't good.
So, and I had 2, and I was able to get rid of 2 things, but I'm like,
I think that was the game I won between.
Yes, it was.
It was like no matter what you played, I'm getting rid of it.
Yes.
So yeah, it's going bye bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was very frustrated, but with the other game, I was able to do it twice, and that's how I was able to win the game pretty soundly. Because I think that one I won, he was only at like 2 or 3 lore.
Yeah.
Because I just kept singing his guys away, and he couldn't get rid of my stuff.
Sure.
So.
So going into set champs this weekend for us, we've got we've got our set champs at our regular store on Saturday. I'm gonna go play another one on Sunday while you guys are playing some Pokemon Go.
Pokemon, gotta catch you.
Not a Disney show. So I'm gonna cut you off.
Actually, you can watch it on Disney Plus because Disney owns Hulu, so technically.
Actually, the original season was not on Hulu. It was on Netflix.
But the current series is.
So it's a Japanese anime
That's on Disney Plus,
that's being
so it's
licensed
allowed.
by someone else. So
it's
anyway,
allowed.
no Pokemon. This is not a Pokecast.
How about Animal Crossing?
Nope, not Animal Cast either. It's just Lore Kana.
Lore Kana.
Okay, so are we feeling good going into set champs?
I'm feeling good. Like the only thing I talked about like today, I kind of thought about, but it was maybe trading out my Strength of a Raging Fire for Greatest Criminal Minds.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
We were talking about that because with the big Tamatoa, and I feel like that's making a little bit more of a comeback.
Yep.
And then also with the little Sisu, that has a lot of, if so, that for a lot of people who are playing Ruby Amethyst are getting the little Sisu out with the Flynn Rider, and then based on the cards in your hand, they have a lot of attack, and you could use the Greatest Criminal Mind on them early in the game, where before it was really only a late game song. So the fact that it could be both an early and a late game song, because a lot of decks are playing that little Sisu, because I know I've seen it a ton over the past couple weeks. That's something I'm kind of considering, because right now Strength of a Raging Fire is really only great for late game, if I can get a ton of people out and don't get Be Prepared.
Yes.
Sure.
So, like, I don't know, it's something I'm throwing around around, but I haven't quite decided if I'm going to do it. I probably won't do it for tomorrow, maybe for next week.
Okay.
Seeing how tomorrow goes.
Boys, you feeling good?
Yeah.
So I know the number one thing we're going to do, and I suggest you do too, is like make sure you have your day planned out for your set championship. Ours starts at 2, which means we're gonna go feast at a big lunch beforehand because playing Lorcana makes me hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry for sure.
Hangry.
I'm not angry because I'm playing Lorcana.
Yes.
No. Oh, really? But what if you get hangry because when you lose, you get mad? So you get hangry.
I mean,
You
I
get
never get too mad when I lose.
What do you do when you're hangry or tired?
Oh, yeah. I mean, tired when I lose.
So we're gonna make sure everyone gets a good night's sleep tonight.
Yes, that's why we nix sleepover ideas with our.
Yes.
Because we've been starting to bring Emmett, one of Emmett's best friends, and his dad have been joining us at our local card store for Wednesday play.
OIW.
And so they were trying to plan a sleepover for tonight, and we're like, that is not a good idea, son.
Yep. So we're gonna get a good night's sleep. We're gonna eat a big lunch. Not sure where yet. I'm hoping Mexican.
It's always Mexican.
It's always Mexican.
Well, it's just the greatest food. So,
Wait, how many games or rounds are there going to be?
I believe it's going to be 5 rounds. 5 rounds. It's going to do the 2-game format. I gotta figure out. Depends on how many people there. We'll have to figure out how many points you'll need to do to get into the top 8. So it'll be a top 8 cut. It'll be the same thing for my tournament on Sunday, depending on how many people there. Though I don't know. 8 side, it seems for sure it's going to be 5 rounds. I don't know how many people are showing up to RIW, so I will see about that. But to all of you out there, good luck on your set championships. If you won a Stitch already, I'm sorry, if you won an Ursula already, congratulations. If you won a Stitch, congrats on that too.
We need an Ursula so Stitch can have a buddy.
Right. But got 3 more weeks left, so good luck to all. But let's move on into some actual news of the week, and there is just really one big news item, and that is
hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, no more.
Extra, extra, read all about it. Bucky the squirrel is dying.
So they've made some changes to Bucky. What they've called this is an errata change. Basically, usually the term errata is used when they need to fix some of the wording on a card because it's confusing. So this is a little bit different. This is a little bit above what an errata would be. This is basically an entire makeover of the card. So the news is that earlier this week, Ravensburger came out and said they are making some changes to Bucky, the Squirrel Squeak Tutor, the Emerald card that has been a menace kind of during this past set because it starts taking cards out of your hand at turn 2. Basically. So they've changed them from a 2-cost inkable 1/1 with ward that has the ability to make your opponent discard whenever you play a Floodborn character. And they've given him a bit of an overhaul. So he is now a 3-cost inkable. Still a 1 strength, 1 willpower, still an emerald, still uncommon. They've changed his abilities. So he no longer has ward, and he has the ability Squeak. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, if you used Shift to play them, each opponent chooses and discards a card. So you can't just play out the Aladdin, the Jafar, the Robin Hood, the Beasts. You can't just play them, you have to shift them on top of something, which makes using Bucky a lot harder. So not only is he coming out a turn later, you have to use Shift. So you could still, there is a world where you could still like make somebody discard 2 cards on turn 3, right? Because you could play the Baby Diablo on turn 1, the Baby Aladdin on turn 2. Turn 3, you play Bucky, and then those 2 don't require ink to shift, so you could shift both of those on turn 3 and then make them discard. Or
if you don't get the Diablo, you can do the Robin Hood.
Sure, or the Robin Hood. Well, you have to use ink to shift the Robin Hood. I'm talking like making it so that you could get rid of cards right on turn 3. Like that would be the new worst case scenario for someone. Or they could do 2 Diablos, right? Or 2 Aladdins. No, I think you can only do 1 because he has to come out on 2. But so there is, you could start being that menace on turn 3. But the problem is then you're not going to be able to play that same game on turn 4. You're not going to be able to just keep following the curve and playing them because you have to play the small stuff as well.
Yep.
The sad boy beast no longer has a shift target except for like morph. Um,
Which people are usually only playing like 2 of them.
Right. I mean, Tinkerbell usually doesn't get shift that often anymore,
No.
so now that's not really in play.
Mhm.
And then you have to have another card to shift all those other ones on top of in your hand, so it becomes a much harder combo to pull off. Like what I mentioned, you have to have 7 cards specifically to pull off. Like you have to have the Aladdin, Diablo, Bucky, the big Diablo, the big Aladdin, song card, and a land card to discard to do the shift to pull off that thing. So that's a 7 card combo. That's going to be hard for anyone to draw in that hand.
In addition to that, getting rid of the ward, now every song can be used to get rid of them.
Yep. So it's not going to survive more than one turn. Like, hell no, get rid of that guy immediately. Right now, Brawl works on him.
Yes.
Sisu that can banish the 1-cost person works on him.
Yep.
All the steel songs work on him.
Yep.
Right. So.
What are the steel songs again?
So the Strength of a Raging Fire, the Let the Storm Rage On, and then also
Swords always worked on him.
Swords always worked on him. Big Tink always worked on him. Singing Sword, Cinderella always worked on him.
Cloud Picker now works on him.
Yes.
The Fuddle works on him.
Yes.
Like all those other cards.
Sisu works on him.
We already said that. The other
the 8-drop Sisu does.
Yes. No, but what I was saying is the Baboom works on him.
Boom! Fire the cannons.
Fire the cannons.
Right.
Which a lot of people are playing.
If you hate yourself.
If you hate yourself. But a lot of people are playing Baboom. A lot of people are already playing us cannons. Not our us cannons. Fire the cannons and Baboom. Baboom specifically for Diablo, and now they work for Bucky as well.
Use it on Bucky, yeah. So Bucky becomes effectively what they call nerfed. He's like he's a lot less effective. He's not going to have as big of a place in things anymore. In their announcement, they came out and said that they're doing this not because they feel the game is imbalanced.
Because it's not fun.
They're doing it because it's made the game not fun. Essentially, if you got your best draw, there's a good chance you no longer have cards in your hand by turn 4. And while there are some, people have a lot of opinions on a lot of different cards. They say a lot of other cards are unfair. They say Whole New World is unfair because you're messing up the other opponent's like complete plan, like just throwing everything out the window.
But it's not like they're not getting a whole new hand of cards.
Sure.
They can still play.
They're saying it's so disruptive that it like maybe they can't play anymore because they worked to get their one hand and now they don't have it.
Sure.
They say be prepared is unfair because it eliminates everything. They say goats are unfair, rabbits are unfair because of the things that they can do. That Ruby as a color is unfair because of all the things that they use to removal. That Madame Medusa is unfair because it removes all these other characters. The issue is that at least in all those other cases, to me, you still get to play cards.
Yes.
With Bucky, you didn't get to play cards anymore. You were just watching the other person play and hoping you top deck something that could actually do anything.
That's how games play. I did play on my phone.
Yeah, but you don't stop the other person from playing cards.
That's very true.
That's the difference.
Can I say something to Bucky?
Sure.
Hit the road, Bucky!
None of us play the Bucky deck in this card, so it's not really a loss for us. I know there are some people that are upset about it. A lot of memes of like, look what they've done to my boy, because they really did. Like, really, if they just removed Ward or just did the Floodborne thing, if they
the shift thing.
The shift thing, yeah. If they just did one of those 2 things, it's like that probably would have mostly solved the problem.
Yes.
What about the 3-drop thing?
I
don't know. I mean, if anything, that does give him a little bit more value because now if you can't do the shift Floodborne, at least you have a thing that you're willing to give away that can sing Strength of Raging Fire or sing Let the Storm Rage On in a pinch. So maybe that's a little bit okay, but yeah, doing all 3 of them, basically this card will probably not see nearly as much play going forward, or you're going to have to really rethink those decks. So the Steel Discard deck will become a thing of the past. However, it is still in play for All Set Championship. These changes don't go into effect until August 9th when Shimmering Skies releases. So for all of set championships and the weekend after, this will still be in effect.
However, it will not be in effect in Toronto.
Yeah, that's the big one that's really weird because that will not. You can't use Bucky the way it is now. It will be this three-cost version that will be in effect for Toronto. However, you can't use Shimmering Skies in Toronto, which means that Toronto will be the one weekend, the one tournament even. There will not be another tournament like this, where this Bucky, as we know it is now, the two-cost warded Bucky, will not exist essentially in that tournament. So there will be no other tournaments like this because every other tournament that gets played, every other one that's put on by someone else, is going to have Shimmering Skies stuff put into it. Toronto will not have Shimmering Skies and will not have Bucky. So the number of decks played in Bochum, Germany, just this past weekend for that tournament, right? The number of discard decks was like 40% of the field. Like 40% of the decks played. I don't remember if it was total, but it was like I think at least in the top 64 were Bucky decks. Were this Emerald Steel discard deck. So that means 40% or 400 people were probably going to be bringing that to Toronto. What are those 400 people going to play? Don't know.
Yeah, and they only have like about a month and a half to figure it out.
Plus,
and they're going to be using, if they're successful with the discard Bucky deck, that's what they're going to be using all month.
Yes.
During set championships.
Right.
So I mean, maybe for league play they'll be testing out other stuff, but
there's no more what's it called? The
Pixelborn.
Pixelborn, which makes it much harder.
Yes.
To practice. Yep.
Absolutely. So I think I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more like non-meta weird decks coming to Toronto.
Could be. A lot of Ruby Amethyst.
There's going to be a lot of. We're already seeing a lot of Ruby Amethyst because I know like a lot of people don't like playing Bucky because it feels mean. Yeah. So a lot of people, not only is it not fun to play against it, it's kind of not fun to play it.
Yep.
Because
a lot of times, whenever I look over at two people playing Bucky against each other, right, they're just both top decking, and it's whoever gets like a grab your swords or a big tank or something that breaks the parity first. It's the person that ends up winning it. Like it looks like no one's having fun. It's always the most miserable thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
So I have no problem with Bucky getting nerfed. There is some discussion on if they're going to do this to the card, why not just ban it?
That's what I.
And there was a lot of discussion about that. Like, dude, if you're going to do this much to a card, if you're going to just take it out and back and beat it like it's the fax machine from Office Space, why not just ban it? And they came out and gave the reason for that. Essentially, they've been printing cards for other languages. They're trying to introduce the card into a lot of different markets. Like they just announced China as a new market yesterday, I believe. And they want to be able to print it so that everyone can have their full set. Before they start banning cards. So they can't print cards and then sell them and then say immediately, oh, well, you can't use this card in here.
Sure.
Right? So essentially that's why they didn't go with a ban and they went with making the changes and calling it an errata. There have been other cards that are errata before. The Ursula, the Deceiver Vault, right, has an errata because it should say Dreamborn and it says Storyborn. There's like Befuddle from Chapter 1. It doesn't say Chosen character on it. So the errata is adding Chosen in there. I think Work Together has that's the same thing where it doesn't have the word Chosen in it. So there's an errata for it. So we have some cards that say the old version and some cards that say the new version, right? So that's usually where you see it. You don't really see this. This is a complete overhaul of it. But at the end of the day, I'm glad it's gone because, like, if there was anything that has ever made me kind of like say, man, maybe I don't really want to play this right now, it's been this deck and this like hand where you don't get to play. Like that was the only bad experience I had in Chicago was when I got someone that got the perfect opening hand for the Bucky deck twice in a row, and I went 0-2 against them, and it was just like I didn't even have a chance. I didn't even get to play, and it felt miserable. So
hit the road, Bucky.
Bye bye, Bucky.
Bye bye, Bucky.
So this is kind of a new card. essentially. But we do got some more.
Shimmering skies in August.
Yeah, more cards from Shimmering Skies this week. I do have translations because a lot of these came out in German,
Sure.
and as I've gone over before, I don't speak German.
Are we going to release the?
So, first we've got Sir Ector, Castle Lord, a steel 7-cost uninkable card. He's got Strength of 7, Willpower of 10, and Quests for 3.
Wow.
So this is the character from Sword and Stone. He is a big boy over in Steel. Like, it's almost a card that Steel does not have an answer for. If you were to play this, no, is right. He's uninkable, but he is
Yes.
a big boy that Steel cannot deal with. So.
Mhm. Well, he is Steel, so.
Yes.
It looks like we can't read it because
Yeah, because you would need
Yeah, you can't read the flavor text. It didn't have anything I believe interesting on it, but the flavor text wasn't translated. I've just got kind of the basics of them.
And like, yeah, because this is something like you would need 2 Zeuses to get rid of him.
Yes, yes. Without him himself, who
Yeah.
doesn't get rid of him.
Right.
You'd need 2 Zeuses right now to get rid of him. The name and text were all translated by Mushu Report, so I'm getting these from them for these next for this one and these next 5. Up next, we've got Merlin, a turtle.
Merlin.
So it's a 4-cost inkable Merlin turtle, 3 strength, 3 willpower. Special ability, give me time to think. When you play this character and when he leaves play, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Put one on the top of your deck and the other on the bottom.
Isn't that what the squirrel does?
The squirrel you look at the top card and then you can put that at the top of the bottom.
So this one you can look at the top
You can look at 2 of them and it quests for 2. So the questing for 2 is an interesting piece.
Yeah.
I don't see this entering the Merlin package at all, really.
But that means they're making new Merlins.
Right. It's unlikely this one will see a lot in the bounce package, but
Wait a
it's there.
minute. Well, that means we're going to have Madam Lino.
Maybe.
It's a good chance. We'll see what happens with that. But this
Madam
is the only one we've got right now,
M.
but that is a new piece of the bounce package. This is an uncommon card. It's obviously an amethyst because it is part of the common. It is part of the bounce package. So let's move on to our next one.
Clarabelle finally gets her own card.
Yep. Clarabelle, Clumsy Guest. It's an emerald card. It's a 1-cost inkable common. Strength of 1, willpower of 2, quest for 1. But it's a special ability here. Butterfinger, when you play this character, you may pay 2 ink to banish chosen item.
I love that ability for her. It's so funny.
That works great
It's
for
so
Clarabelle.
great.
Yeah, but
Really on
she's
point.
a 1-drop, so it might not be the best.
Well, no, it's a 1-drop though. So, but if you played this on turn 3, and then you can banish a chosen item, because you play her and you can banish a chosen item immediately. That would be good, like mid game and late game when you're playing Kamatoa.
Yeah, if you're playing one of the Sapphire decks, play it on turn 3, banish their quill if they just played it, or banish one of their popsicles so that Hiram can't eat it. Playing it late game and start just destroying their dime over and over again. If you pair this with Amethyst maybe, and you can bounce her back.
That's what I was thinking too.
So I think this card could definitely see some play because
100%.
you're putting item destruction on a body. The only other, and an instant item destruction. Right?
Yes.
The other item destruction on a body right now is like Aladdin and Benja.
And there's a beast that has but when you attack someone.
No, the beast too. Beast costs 5, right? This is something in a different color that's item destruction, right? Emerald didn't have any before, and now it does. So now you can pair that with amethyst and stuff to do some item destruction.
Yeah.
So, I like her. Next, we've got
The End
is Near, an action card. It's a 2-cost inkable in Ruby, a common card. This ability is choose one of your characters and ready them. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. If you chose a villain character, gain 1 more.
That's a really good card.
So this is kind of a
for Ruby.
This is a kind of almost a power creepish type card because there is a card similar to this already in Ruby.
There's a shield, right?
Not the shield. That's an item, right? That you have to pay some ink to read these things. But it's it's the one that has the poo on it. Fan the flames. Fan of Flames does this for the same cost except for the lore piece. So this does it readies character and they can't quest. This does that, but instead, if you're the villain, you get a lore. Um, yeah, if
So
you're playing a
more
lot of
sneaky
villain
lore.
decks, yep, it's a way to get some extra lore.
Or like how the British broadcasters called it was cheeky lore,
Yeah,
which I
cheeky lore.
love
Cheeky lore
that
there.
cheeky lore.
Yeah. Let's take a look at our next one.
Oh,
So we've got
she looks
Minnie
so
Mouse.
sad.
Yep. Minnie Mouse, compassionate friend. She's a amber card, 4-cost inkable. Strength of 1, willpower 5.
Ooh.
Quests for 2. It's a common card. Special ability, a small remedy. Whenever this character quests, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character.
Oh,
so
she's very much like Rapunzel.
Well, yeah, we don't get to draw cards, right?
You don't get to draw the cards, but you get to still quest her for 2 and remove the damage. Pairing this with Robin Hood is gonna be really nice.
She's like,
because you just continue attack with Robin Hood. Attack with Robin Hood, get the 2 lore. Quest with Minnie, get your 2 lore. Take 2 damage off of Robin Hood. It keeps your Robin Hood in the game for longer.
Sure.
Can I say?
I like this. I could see myself putting this in my deck.
Is that the Great Illuminary?
So yes, that is the big reason that this card that I got excited with this card is that you see the part of a luminary kind of crashing to the ground in the background.
And looks like it's during the party.
Yeah, during the party. So.
And I also see some blue flames. Man, I wonder who that could be.
I feel like that might be ink.
I think that's ink.
I don't think it's flames. I think it's ink too, honey.
And then Minnie's also holding some kind of beverage or something in her hand.
Or like bottle or bag or something.
The lamp. It says it's a her ability is a small remedy, so it might be like
a potion.
Oh, some kind of potion. Sure, that makes sense.
Or she was just getting hammered at the party.
This is a family podcast, Matthew.
On fizzy lifting drink. Fizzy lifting drink. Okay, and then our last German card. It's I'm not having fun anymore with a sad Cusco on it. It's a 1-cost inkable sapphire action card. It's an uncommon. You choose one of your characters and put it into your inkwell face down and exert it. So it's another ramp tool for sapphire.
Absolutely.
So, I could see some play,
this.
right? Like you play Mickey Mouse, and then most of the time Mickey Mouse is worthless after that.
Mm-hmm.
So you play Mickey Mouse, ramp with him, then play this, put Mickey Mouse into your inkwell, and it's like a 2-for-1 type thing.
Yeah. So. And I could also see this, if somebody was trying to make a sapphire amethyst work, you could use this, and if you have a goat, you get the lure for the goat. You do this with rabbit, you can rob rabbit when you can draw, because I'm assuming that you would, when you put the goat in your inkwell,
sure,
you still get that lore for the goat.
Yeah, you would.
When you put the rabbit into your inkwell, you would still get to draw.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I would never do that to a rabbit because you would bounce that rabbit back to your hand and draw another card, right?
Absolutely.
But it's one of those things where maybe like end of the game. So like one of the things I did on Wednesday, right, is I played goat, and instead of waiting a turn to win, I just played be prepared to banish the goat and win right then. So if you're like at 19 lore, play the goat, don't have any way to bring him back, just play this and banish and turn your goat to ink, and then you win.
Exactly.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So I've just been rewatching The Emperor's New Groove.
You've been watching so many things.
Oh, okay. Alright, so he wakes up at like 7 and I wake up at like 9:30. So like and this card is so good compared to the movie. Because this is when he figures out that Cusco Clonk and Yzma want to kill him, and when he figures that out, and figures out that Potter was telling the truth and about how nobody's that heartless, so it's just like, I'm not having fun anymore, it's the Emperor.
Sure. Okay. So I believe that's the last German card.
Yay.
However, I do have one more card that was released just today.
Was it because
in English?
Wait, let's just see.
Not Oswald. I already told you it wasn't Oswald. Stop trying to make Oswald happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay, so our last one.
Huh?
Not showing up. Oh no, it's gone.
Oh,
Not
what?
this one. No. Okay. Let's go to. I don't know what's happening. I can't get out.
Because you're right clicking instead of left clicking, huh?
I know, but that was so that I could get out. It's missing. Oh no.
Just look it up.
Okay, so I'm gonna look this card up really quick, so that we can show it to these guys. So,
Can you just like undo or like look at the history and see if it's in there?
I mean, I'll get to it. Hold on, just a second. So talk
Close your eyes.
about things.
So Emmett,
I'll go to the Mushu report.
so Emmett, what's your favorite Lorcana character? My favorite Lorcana character, I don't know. Mine, I would pick one. Of course. What's your least favorite? Oh.
Other than Bucky.
No, no, you can say Bucky.
Brawl.
Yeah, Brawl gets rid of most of my cards.
I see. Okay. All right. He's got it up. Are you ready?
All right.
What is it?
So
It's
it
a
is
Pete Wrestling Champ.
Yep. A rare steel card. He's a 3-cost uninkable, strength of 1, willpower of 3, has the ability repeat. If you tap him or exert him, you can reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character named Pete, you play Pete for free.
Oh my god, here's another steel one.
There's the same number of emeralds and steels as every other color in the deck.
Yeah.
But this guy looks really cool because it's Pete in a wrestling costume. That would make a cool Halloween costume.
There we go on that.
You could walk in as Pete, the wrestling champ. This makes me think that there's going to be more Pete cards coming.
Yep.
Because
Pete's Club, House Pete's Club,
Sure.
House Pete's Club, House Pete's Club, House.
So, because right now there's not that many. There's like
No.
2 or 3 other cards, all of which none of which really see much play. But if they're releasing this one, there must be a plan for more Pete's. So all Pete's deck coming soon.
Let's go. This is the deck I wanted to play.
Yeah, exactly. All Pete's. That's exactly what you were hoping for. Yeah, all Pete's.
Not and before we go to our trivia.
Hold on. Didn't even say we were done, Emmett. Stop getting out of the
So
game.
that's the last card I've gotten this time around. I'm sure there'll be a lot more cards coming next week. I know some of the influencers have been talking about, we've got a card coming out on Monday. So there'll be a lot more cards next week because the flood, I'm sure, is going to happen next week. We're only getting 6 or 7 cards a week, but there are still 150 some cards to reveal. So
I know it's gonna say that. No more to see to be a Pokemon master. Lorcana master is my destiny. Wow.
Look.
Piglet. Mufasa. Bucky. Merlin. Madam Mim.
No, we're not. No poker raps. No poker raps. No poker rap. Okay. Anyway, so that's our new cards for this week.
And before we go to
stop interrupting that. Go, Dad.
Okay, so before we hit trivia, there were a couple of things that I know Emmett got to watch this morning. He watched the new Descendants movie on Disney Plus. Emmett, how'd you like it? No spoilers.
I really liked it. I think I liked it. I liked it all the way, to the ending.
Right. He wasn't a fan of the ending, but that's everything can't work for everybody all the time. So that's okay. But the rest of the movie you like?
Yes.
It was pretty good.
And would you recommend it?
Yeah. For anybody who loves Alice in Wonderland and Descendants, you should watch it.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Excellent. All right. Well, that brings our regular scheduled talking to an end. Let's move on to
before we do trivia. So I'm pretty sure it was like sometime during this week, we got around on the kitchen table and played the magical game of Disney trivia.
So we actually played
Yes,
the game.
we've actually played the game.
Which we've done. I think
We've done it in the past,
And
yeah.
Dad got a false question. So
Okay, yeah. So somehow I got like all of the questions about the Disney
TV
shows like Jessie and The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Those were like half of my questions. We're all around that one, like Monsters at Work.
So funny. Monsters at Work question.
And then to top it all off, look, there was this one question that just should not have been printed, okay? So it was like in High School Musical 3.
In High School Musical 3, who did Troy take to the prom?
So I think, okay, I'm not going to say Vanessa Hudgens' character. Number one, because I didn't remember her name. Is it Gabrielle?
Gabriella.
Yeah, Gabriella. I was like, it's probably not her, because I know there must have been some twist. So I went Sharpay. Like, that's the other one that I know.
And the answer
was
nobody, because he didn't go to prom.
What the heck? Wonderful World of Disney Trivia? You're already asking a question about High School Musical 3. It's already a question about High School Musical 3. It can't be a trick question. What? You gotta give somebody a chance. It
was quite.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would you print that card?
He was so mad.
Why? Why would you print that card? Why would you print that question? I guarantee you know what? The person that made that question then moved over to Ravensburger and designed Bucky. They are that kind of person. I hope they made them like put in the new details after they decided after the board of Ravensburger met, because that's what I assume it is. I assume it's like a huge like a cabal of people that just get together around a table and decide all things Lorcana. It's mostly ladies in chairs. And they decide this Bucky thing, and they're like, make the person that designed it put in the numbers. That's. I mean, they're German, so I figure it's in a broody castle, and that's how it works, right? Until I'm proven wrong, I'm assuming that's how Ravensburger operates.
Of course. Ravensburger, if you're wrong, please let us know by sending us a package.
Yeah.
It also makes sense it's all Pixar.
Too loud.
Also add Oswald to the Locana, please.
Sure.
We actually love you,
Ravensburger. Ladies in chairs sitting around a table in a castle, then tempering Emperor Palpatine for some reason to give out your orders to your minions. That's for sure that's a German business model.
Anyway, back to the trivia question. What is it?
Yes, so now it's time for trivia from the wonderful world of Disney trivia. So, oh look, no questions about the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody.
What about Monsters at Work?
Nope.
Let's go.
Okay, recordings of Mary Gibbs from the movie Monsters Incorporated were used to voice what character in the movie Inside Out?
I think Bing Bong. It was either Bing Bong.
So Mary Gibbs, and they just used recordings of their voice.
Oh, I know. Triple Dank Gum.
No, make you smile.
Is it a character?
It's a character.
Oh, okay, it's a character.
And it's not.
Okay.
Okay, let's
No.
start.
I don't think it's not one of the top 5 because we already know. Like I know who voices all of the top 5 emotions.
Is it Bing Bong?
I mean, you have to think about if they're just using voice recordings of someone, it can't be someone that has like any meaningful impact directly on.
Riley's mom, dad.
No, can't be Riley's mom or dad. Bing Bong, I know who voices Bing Bong.
Or just
it's not
in the movie for a short
It's
period.
not Bing Bong. It's
Who's your friend that likes to play?
Also Mary Gibbs.
It's also a woman, and I know who voices Bing Bong. And
Who's
it's not
Mary Gibbs?
I don't know. It's a woman. So hold on. So let's think about. So in Inside Out.
Is it Riley's friend thing?
No.
Thing?
Is it the unicorn?
No.
Is it the clown?
No.
Who else is it?
Riley's teacher.
No.
Is it one of those dreamwalkers?
No. I don't think you guys are on the right track here.
Okay, I have no idea. What is it?
So it's younger Riley. So Riley as like
a baby and a toddler.
So I'm not sure. I'd have to look up who Mary Gibbs is, but maybe there's a chance that that's like
Oh, Boo.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Question
So
two.
they just recorded extra
Yeah.
voicing of Boo and then use that for. That makes sense. Okay, that's a really good trivia question.
Yeah.
Question two.
Question 2, dude. Let's calm down, man.
Sorry.
When Cinderella loses her slipper when fleeing the ball, what foot does it fall off of?
I think it's right.
To right foot.
What are you going with, man?
I don't know why right. No, I'm gonna go with left because they picked right.
Cinderella didn't actually go to prom. She wasn't invited. It's her left.
Oh, good job, Malcolm.
All right. Finish this quote from Big Hero 6.
Oh no.
The only limit is your
Imagination. Heart.
imagination, heart, Jen.
Your own mind? I don't know.
It's imagination.
Oh, good job, Malcolm.
I was about to make a joke that your only limit is your health robot.
Sure.
Imagination, good job, Malcolm.
All right. What is Cruella de Vil's home called in 101 Dalmatians and the end of Cruella?
This is in Lorcana. It's DeVille Manor.
DeVille Manor, yeah. It's Lorcana Park.
No.
No?
Devil Manor?
That's closer. It's specifically like there's DeVille Manor, but that's like where she lives. That's not where.
Is it just
There's another name for it. They don't
Devil
call it.
Mansion?
It's called Hell Hall.
Oh,
that's it. That's what it's called in Villainous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's called in Villainous.
Yeah. Like, thinking about it now, like it's not DeVille Manor at all. So
No.
Lorcana probably didn't want to print out Hell Hall.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Print out 1 million copies of the 80s. Can't say Hell Hall.
Sure.
Okay. What are the names of the horse and cow characters that co-starred with Mickey and Minnie in early cartoons?
The horse and cow. You guys are on this.
Is the cow Clarabelle? I don't know.
Yes.
That's what I thought. Is it
Oh, no,
Horace?
good.
Horace the horse?
Horse, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Horace Horse Collar and Clarabelle Cow. Good work, guys.
Yes.
Okay, so that brings us to a wrap for this week. I want to say good luck again to everybody vying for an Ursula in your set championships. May you draw your cards that you need. If you are playing a discard, if you're playing against a discard deck, may you draw cards that draw other cards. May you get your brawls. May you get something to get rid of the bird. May you grab your swords to get rid of the squirrel. If you are playing the Bucky deck, your days are numbered, my friend. So enjoy it while you can. Have fun, sort of.
I hope I don't see you.
Yeah. Anyways, not to hate on those people, on those guys. It's more just the deck, and I understand why you're playing it because it is a good and powerful deck. It can win. So by all means, if that's how you want to play it and that's how you can win, good for you, man. Good luck to you as well. But that brings us to an end today. Thank you so much for listening. If you are listening to us and like to see a video version of this with images of the cards, you can find us on YouTube at QuestLore. If you've been watching us and like, man, I wish I could just listen to this while I was running, you can find us as a podcast on all audio podcast platforms. Please follow us, subscribe to us, leave comments, rate us. It does help out with algorithm type stuff. You can find us all over on social media, on the Twitters, on the Instagrams. We are there. Once again, thank you so much from our family to yours. Enjoy playing Lorcana.
And Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for Lorcana.